Hi, I'm Chris Adams, and today I'm going to talk about learning your intervals in perfect fourths tuning. So in another video, I talked a little bit about perfect fourths tuning. I tune down, so here's my tuning: E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, and E. So that's kind of it. The intonation on this guitar, this particular guitar, is not perfect, but we'll get through it. So I'm going to put a link to the PDF in the description here. This goes over kind of all the interval positions that you can reach with one hand. There's more details about this in my book, but I'll just go over some of the more important ones to start learning. That is your octaves. So you take the shape of an octave. So that's the first one. So starting at the 5th fret as in the diagram here. So you have one up this way. So 2 strings over and 2 frets up. And you also have one down. Same note here. Whoops. So these two are 5 strings apart, 5 frets apart. So once you start learning this here, and I use this shape to kind of explore the fretboard. Like I've said before, for many years I'd play here, I'd play here, I'd play a little bit here, and not very much anywhere else. But what I recommend practicing and just getting your hand to shape, because when you play an octave down here, it's a much different shape than when you play an octave here. So I recommend slowly getting good tones and going through your whole, all the way up and down, just as a warm-up. So you get yourself a cup of coffee or whatever you're into, and just sit there and slowly work it out, make a nice tone. You'll find if your guitar is like this one, a little bit out of adjustment, you might find that you're going to have to bring certain notes in pitch, and then you can either fix your guitar or just keep working with it or change your strings. But you can do the same for all octave shapes. I'm not going to go over everything, but this is one practice way. And with perfect fourths, you have the consistent shape, which is very important for your muscle memory. You always know that is always going to be an octave, whether I play it on this string set or this string set or this string set or this. It helps a lot, and at least for me, with the sense of freedom I get, because I know that. Because with the standard tuning, I was like, yeah, I'm not really sure what it's going to sound like in the middle. Is this the string where I go up or down or not? I play bass more, so I'm kind of like lower IQ to start with. So going back to guitar, I had to make that change, that decision all the time. But with perfect fourths, you don't. So there's your octaves. Fifths are interesting too. So you have the power chord shape, and you can actually play like palm mute across the strings, and you can also play that beautiful Andy Summers riff. With stacked fifths, which turn into a ninth, right? So you have the 5th, there's your octave, and there's your ninth. So you can also do this, and then go up, keep playing, and get into kind of like modern sounds of stacked intervals like that. So you're still in the key, and then when you go up fifths from your 2nd, you go to the 6th, and then you're up. Then you start like traveling away from where you started harmonically. Anyway, so that's another way to kind of move around. Fourths is a similar thing, where you have fourths is the reverse of the 5th. Kind of an interesting thing that you can do on a perfect fourths guitar is that if you go down fourths, right, and then you do it, and then you go down, this next note, next fourth, is an octave on the E string or the higher string. So it's kind of, maybe I'm not explaining this so great, but if you go down fourths, then you go to this one, you hear you're harmonically far away, and then you go, you're back. You just went through all 12 notes in the scale. So that's kind of neat. It lines up because of the fourths instead of the other tuning. Other important intervals to learn is your thirds. There's a minor third, and when you put another minor, when you do the octave up, oops, you get the nice kind of open sound. And then the major third, same thing. Excuse me. Then you get, without the other thing there, you get the tenths. So there's a minor tenth, major tenth. So again, to practice these and get more fluidity, once you get under your fingers that this shape is always going to be a major tenth sound, whether you play it here or here or here, I recommend just freestyling it, just to warm up and get your ear used to it, and it will help you really kind of get comfortable playing intervals here that you might not play in this part of the fingerboard. You know, some of your maybe like less comfortable neighborhoods of the fingerboard. So what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and you can go into later on. Maybe we'll talk about playing these diatonically. For now, just get them under your fingers and know that that's always going to be a major third all over the place. And just very mechanically get a nice tone, get a nice tone, get a nice tone, get a nice tone, and go all the way up and down with your fourths or that one. And then, so this is just like maybe a warm-up exercise to get used to your intervals, because from your intervals you build triads, and then from your triads you build chords, and then so on. The intervals are always there. So that's kind of what I wanted to go over in this video. And oh yeah, the intervals are reversed, right? So that if you have a major third interval, the inverse of that, you take the octave and go back. You have a minor six interval, major third, minor six, same interval. And depending on your context, it's going to provide a different sound. But anyway, we'll get into that in more detail. I just want to introduce intervals in this video, and we'll talk about it in more detail later. Of course, you can pick up my book, Guitar in Fourth Gear. This is the introductory book, more of transitioning, like you know, like I said before, you used to think about it this way, but now you can think about it this way, or you don't have to think so much anymore. That's really the main thing. It makes guitar easier. So there you go. Happy practicing and happy playing.